In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there is but one God, to whom praise is due forever. The sender of Moses and the Torah, Jesus and a perfect gospel, Muhammad and the Quran. Peace be upon every worthy servant of Almighty God. To Brother Roy and his wife, and to all of those who work with you, brother, in this work of putting on such a beautiful event that is designed to pay respect and homage to business and community leaders. I pray that God will continue to bless you, brother, and I thank your wife for being the backbone behind a man that talks a lot, but the backbone really is his wife. I also want to say that I understand that some were extremely terrified and upset that Brother Roy would invite his little brother to speak at this event. And I understand, Brother Roy, that some black folk and white folk asked you, why would you invite him? Why would you take the risk inviting him? I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't run the streets. I don't party. I don't club. I don't gamble. I don't chase women, and I don't secretly chase men. I'm not a thief. I'm not a robber. I try my best to commit no crimes. The best you might get me on is a speeding ticket, and I'll pay my fine. So why would you have a problem with Brother Roy inviting me? Because you were used to black men that would come before you and speak to you, and everything is all great. You know, black men who just love to take pictures with everybody. You in every shot. I turn these type of invitations down weekly. I don't come to things like this. But because I know Brother Roy, and I've watched Brother Roy since I was a young man. He was the first black man in this city not to turn his back on my teacher, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And they condemned him for standing with Farrakhan. So when you invited me, brother, of course I'm going to come. And I just want to say, brother, the friends that you have that are true friends, they'll still be here tomorrow. Because really, those who don't want you to invite me are afraid that somebody might be set free or exposed. And the reason why I really do not come to things like this, because when I was young, and I would travel with Brother Robert Muhammad, and I would watch Minister Farrakhan at events like this, and I would say to myself, black folk are in there having such a wonderful time. Everybody's eating hot wings and drinking wine, and they're taking pictures, and everything seems so wonderful. But right outside, right down the street, black men and women are suffering and dying and living in a shameful, wretched condition. So why is it we're having so much fun? That's why it's difficult for me to hang out with the bourgeoisie clique. Because one thing about me, I can say what I want to say. I can say it to whoever I gotta say it to. I can stand up and don't scratch where I don't itch, and I can speak to the powers that be, because the enemies of black people don't sign my check. I'm a freak like man. That's why I can do what I do. So to all of those who are afraid that inviting Quanell X may get your check tampered with. See, Jesus is not what you say, Jesus is what you practice. And too many of my brothers and sisters taught Jesus, but you are not willing to suffer anything in his name. Too many of our brothers and sisters taught Jesus. And remember, Jesus came into this world not to be popular. He came into this world to be right. But too many politicians, you seek the popular vote. You gotta say and acquiesce and do what is popular, because if you do not, it'll affect you at the polls. Brother Sylvester, you run for mayor. But if God wants you to be mayor, brother, can't nobody keep you from there. But if God does not want you there, if God does not want you to be mayor, there's nobody on earth who can give you the seat, brother. Be very careful, because a smile is a frown turned upside down in politics. And some of the very people who pat you on your back and smile in your face will be cutting your throat or you walk out the door. See, somebody got to talk like this to us, because too many of us are playing games with God. And to those white people who were petrified of me coming tonight, bless your heart. I am your brother. The same God that loves you loves me too. The same God that created you created me too. And I would be a fool to have a problem with a fellow human being because of skin color, when God is the author of what color every human being is born. You can't reduce me to such cannon fodder. But what I am is a young black man who sees the terrible condition of my people, and it's almost like nobody cares. The #1 program in America today, the #1 TV program, is Empire. Yeah, you know what you watch it. Yeah, tell the truth. You know how many of you are watching Lucius Lyons? All you women now, you want to be cooking. #1 program. When I was growing up, the #1 program was the Huxtables. I remember the Jeffersons. I remember Sanford and Son. I remember What's Happening. I remember Good Times. But every one of those black sitcoms had a moral consciousness to them. And those black actors and actresses refused to act like buffoons because they felt they had a compelling connection to how their people was portrayed. They had a compelling connection to how black people were shown in Hollywood. So now Empire's #1. Now let's look at that real quick, and I'm going to take my seat so you can get back to your fine dining. Lucius Lyons, he walks up in the church to get his son. Tells his son, come here. I need you back at the office. Then he tells his son tell him, no, I found God. I found the Lord. Then Lucius says to his son, now let's see who's more powerful, me or your God. And walk in there, and while Jennifer Hudson is singing a glorified song uplifting the name of Christ, he walks up to her on stage and says, I just had a revelation, and God just told me that you and I are going to make a gospel album. And so Jennifer Hudson, she come off stage now. And so now you see Jennifer Hudson on Empire no longer singing gospel, she's singing secular, the secular crowd. So Lucius Lyons walks out and looks at his son. Look what I just did. This is the #1 show. And every episode, the most consistent and constant act, the most consistent and constant message is the acceptance of homosexuality. Jamal and his sexuality is talked about on every episode. This is the #1 program in America among black people. Then, the brother, he goes into the boardroom, gives all his kids and his woman Cookie a gift. Then he says to him, "I'm not dying. It's a miracle." Then he says, "Not even God can kill me." And all y'all sitting around, girl, look at Lucius. You saw Lucius? You see Lucius? Because see, you have forgotten about Sodom and Gomorrah. You have forgotten about the children of Israel and what God did to Pharaoh and his army. You have forgotten what God told Jonah he would do to Nineveh. You have forgotten that God also will destroy that which he loves if he refuses to obey. With a black president, the most unemployed men in America, black men, with a black president, the most imprisoned men, still going now in record numbers, black men. The most HIV infected men, black men. The most chemically addicted men, black men. This is the condition of us. What are we going to do? See, when I was young, I'll never forget. Where's my Aunt Marie? Where you at, Aunt Marie? I know you don't want me to call you out. Where you at, Aunt Marie? I don't see you. Where you at, Aunt Marie? Where is she? She's somewhere there. She's back there. I'll never forget. One day we was walking down the street and we were cursing. Me and my buddies, we was cursing. So the neighbor, she saw us. She said, "Come here. I know you. You, Marie, and them boys." She pulled off her shoe and began to beat the hell out of all three of us. When we got to the house, they told Aunt Marie what happened. Aunt Marie did not say, "Why you touched my child?" Aunt Marie did not say, "Who are you to discipline my child?" Aunt Marie said, "Thank you," and shut the door, and she grabbed the first thing she could touch, and she began to beat the hell out of all of us. See, I remember when black people would discipline their children. I remember I'd watch TV, and you see the white child tell his parent, "I hate you, I hate you. Just get out of my room. Just get out of my room." And we would all look at each other like, what? I remember when anybody died in our community, the old black women would get together and they would go door to door and they would say, "Such and such passed away. We're taking up a collection to bury such and such. Could you help?" And everybody gave some money, and those who didn't have money gave food. I remember when there were no homeless black men in the black community. I remember there was no such thing watching a homeless black man, because somebody in the neighborhood would let you in. I remember, Roy, I'm 44 years old. But I remember when we went to school, if we got into a little fist fight, Constable Rosen, we didn't call you and the boys. The teacher called the coach. And the coach showed up with a stick in his hand. But now, when children just curse each other, they call you and the boys with a citation pad. While we're in here, fine dining. Enjoy yourselves, brothers and sisters. But I'm telling you right now, and I hope you hear me good, to you politicians, Sister Sheila, Brother Sylvester, Brother Al, I hope you hear me. I am telling you, black youth are coming after you. Yeah. Because black youth no longer want to listen to preachers or politicians. Yeah. Ferguson exposed it. Ferguson showed how the black politician and the black preacher had lost all power. Why? Because you all need to come and tell us the raw and adulterated truth. You all fight some dirty, low-down snakes in the state houses and in Congress, but yet you try to keep, for the sake of unity and for the sake of a democracy and harmony in this nation, you try to put forth a good face. But if black people knew what you suffer, and then Negroes sit up and say, well, Sheila ain't never did nothing for me. Sylvester ain't never did nothing for me. Well, what did you ask them to do? And when they were campaigning and running, how much of your liquor money did you give? And how many placards and flyers did you pass out to help them become elected? So you do a whole lot of damn talking, but do nothing to help black elected officials be free. We don't give $1 to our elected officials. Not a dollar. Could you imagine, Sister Sheila, Brother Sylvester, Brother Al, if black women just said, for 6 months, we know there's an election coming. There's an election coming. We are going to spend no money on weave hair. And we're going to put every dollar from weave hair into the political coffers of our elected officials. I'm sorry, white folk, you would no longer control black politicians because financially we would own our own politically elected officials. They are taking money because we ain't giving it. And we acting like we don't have it. But when you look at the filth, the decadence, the indecency that we spend weekly, we can free our community. I would hope and pray that you all start looking at this thing different. Because brothers and sisters, our young people, they're not as godly as you were. They're not in church like you were. And in fact, many of them believe it now the Bible is just a story. But all of this was prophesied. See, you read everything about the grace and the love of Jesus, but you don't want to touch Revelations. Look, it's all right if you're not popular. It's all right if you're not liked by everybody. Because if Jesus showed back up on the scene right now today, he would not be a well-liked brother. That's the example that you have to follow. Thank you, Brother Roy, for having me. But I'm hurting. Because, man, just driving here, you see the condition of our people. And so I hope that you have the same level of dedication, brothers and sisters, as you do it coming here. But when you pass by the hole on the corner down the street, tell her that Jesus got all power. Man, When you see that little brother with his pants sagging, like you used to be. Say, excuse me, sir. How you doing, young brother? Good to see you, my brother. Would you please pull your pants up? My wife is right here. My mother's right here. Thank you, young brother. I appreciate you. There's not a hood, and I don't care what gangster or gang members exist in this region where I cannot go and them brothers don't treat me like a king coming home. That's right. What the hell am I doing you not doing? All right. Because I know that I love them and I let it be known that I love them. Yeah. But if we don't do something, every night, they stole an ATM. Young black man. Yeah. It's the true white folks. Y'all see that too, don't you? Yeah. Y'all see it, but see, they know we ain't saying it. Yeah. And they see the same thing. Carjacking. Young black men. They just robbed a corner store. They showing young black men. Yeah. Every night. I'm sitting down on this. Before Adolf Hitler wanted to exterminate the Jews, he told his friends in the media that whenever a Jewish man committed a crime, exacerbate the crime to look like more than what it is, put it in all of the papers. So the mind of the people was being conditioned that the root of crime and the root of the destruction of Europe were Jews. And so when you see every time you turn on the news, young black men committing all of the crimes, young black men are the featured headline of criminal activity. That's why George Zimmerman could kill Trayvon Martin and raise over $1 million, because they were saying to him, you did a good job because you killed a menace to America. We didn't give him $1 million. Who gave him that kind of money? You better wake up quick. The media has been used to set your sons, your husbands up for slaughter. And I believe as soon as Barack Obama leave office, God forbid if you let a Republican get in the White House. Look, I don't play politics. I'm an independent. I'm neither Democrat nor Republican. I'm an independent for 15 years. But if you let somebody like Ted Cruz get in the White House, you, all of us, Sheila, we will be going somewhere that it don't look like freedom. These people don't care about yours. So if you talking about staying at home, come election day, if you talking about the weather don't look too good, Barack Obama, he's not on the ticket, honey. What we have seen with Trayvon Martin, what we've seen with Michael Brown, what we've seen with Eric Garner, it's being justified. It's being justified. Young Jordan Davis in Florida was killed because the man didn't like the music they were listening to. And the jury came back and said, well, we're not sure it's murder. Brothers and sisters, don't eat too much. There's a lot of work to do. Thank you for having me. Thank you for listening. May God bless you and keep you. Assalamu alaikum.
Y'all can do better than that. Now that didn't scare y'all, did it? Y'all, come around, they said you didn't give them enough. They was hungry.